Perhaps it is impossible to wear an identity without becoming what you pretend to be. Orson Scott Card in the Ender's Game. This quote from one of the most famous books supposes a couple of things about identity. First, that it is changeable. And second, that often what we attempt to put forward as our identity is not what we really are, at least not at first. I would argue that identity is the result of the interaction between two perceptions of self, who you think you are and who people believe you are. Immigration deeply impacts this identity as it calls into question your own view of yourself as well as changing the lens with which others view you. Around the globe, we see immigrants struggling to find their niche in their new society and still maintain their own culture and identity. In Israel, a modern immigrant nation, we see this firsthand. Since 1948, Israel has welcomed over 3 million immigrants. These people have come from over 26 nations with differing backgrounds and beliefs. This sudden cultural diversity has caused many to ask, what does it mean to be Israeli? And many bicultural Israelis to ask, what does it mean to be me? Following Operation Solomon, Joshua, and Operation Moses, there were tens of thousands of new immigrants, the Beta Israel, or Ethiopian Jews, many of them children and adolescents. Immigrating during the so-called formative years greatly impacts an individual's identity. For the Ethiopian immigrants, there are the added complexities of having their religious identity questioned and looked down on, even in the so-called Promised Land for Jews. Also, race, which had never been a factor, suddenly was in play, and they found themselves for the first time thinking of themselves as black. While studying in Israel, we had the chance to meet Badel, a young Ethiopian woman who immigrated to Israel when she was a child. At first, she says she tried to lose her Ethiopian identity entirely and sought to look, act, and think like an Israeli as much as possible. For Badel, this caused a huge rift between her and her father, as he felt the need to remain fully Ethiopian and a strictly religious Jew. Ethiopia is a country with a rich culture, seen in its artwork, music, and clothing. It is understandable that when the younger generation rejects or undervalues this culture, it creates problems within the Ethiopian Jewish society and within particular individuals and families. Badel spoke of emptiness inside because she wasn't being true to her identity and who she really was. She had felt for so long that the part of her that was Ethiopian was something to suppress and to avoid. Eventually, Badel, like many in her generation, came to terms with and embraced her dual cultural identity, assuming a more traditional, conservative style of dress and even becoming religious again. She began to appreciate the complexity and beauty found in her heritage. Maybe that is what's most important, making sure that no one, not even you, are willing to oversimplify your identity, undervalue it, and make a single aspect of you seem like it's all of you. Religion, gender, race, ethnicity, age, and personality all play significant roles in who we are and who we choose to become, but the essence of a person is more than the sum of these parts. It's who you are, who you were, and who you're becoming. Never be bullied into silence. Never allow yourself to be made a victim. Accept no one's definition of your life, but define yourself.